Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching and listening to another special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in sweltering Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
Bryce and I kind of fell all over ourselves with Lagrimas, Las Lagrimas. This is, yeah, we're kind of late to the party on this one, although I've had severe spillage. Uh, but I know Bryce has probably had this. All the big time collectors have gone after this one. This is the Reposado version, which is also high proof, 46
Mhm.
ABV. Um, by all by all accounts, everybody who's had it has been just gone bananas over it. This is so Bryce. What they're doing with this is they're going to several different huertas or fields these are all vintage. The vintages are different because of the fields are different. So you said this was the first one coming out of Michoacan for them?
Yes. Yeah, so it's their fourth field harvested, but it's the first time that they've gone to Michoacan for agaves.
Okay, so in other words, there are three other iterations of Lagrimas, correct? Is that the way I'm reading this?
Yeah, three predecessors, yeah.
Okay, okay. Have you had all three? Have you had the first two or?
No, actually I hadn't had much from them because we got these a little while ago, and so it's like I held off. But yeah,
Yeah.
no. So this is kind of my first. I know I tried it once, but it was at a house tasting to where it's kind of brought out later. So,
Okay. Yeah.
memory isn't as strong. But
Well, it's like we were talking about off camera. We really don't dissect these until we're sitting in front of each other and
yeah.
uh or like Bryce does some of his own reviews and then he'll you take that moment that day where you just take your notes and do your scoring or whatever
Mhm.
and then you go, oh, okay, I missed this, I missed that, because the vessels make the glassware makes a big difference. So anyway, this is the Reposado version. This is again a 46 ABV. We're just going to pour the juice
Yeah.
before it dissipates completely
Yeah. It's coming
for
out of
me.
Nome 1123. So Cascahuin, Chava, they partnered with
Yes.
Altamar Brands. And yeah, we were talking about the Plata. This is the continuation to where it's two different batches that are then blended together, So
Yeah,
they've got
one you said was
some
tahona, the other one was a shredder, correct?
tahona and roller mill.
Okay.
And then they use some wood fermentation and then also stainless steel tanks for fermentation. And then some with fibers, some without fibers. All open air.
Wow.
And then stainless steel pot with a copper coil. So,
Just all kinds of
I-
labor intensive, crazy blending of different techniques, modern and ancient. I mean,
yeah.
you know, distilling with fermenting with fibers. I think the first one I had like that was Vivo from Siempre did that with Sergio. And I mean, I've had it before, but I've had it only in mezcal. I'd never had it in tequila up until that point. And it also comes in at a high proof. I think they were brands of promise last year for us. They're big winners because nobody's doing it like that anymore. I
Yeah.
am using my Chisholm Trail wide mouth Tequila Aficionado branded. Yeah, see, with my name on it and Bryce's name on it. See,
Mhm.
actually, Bryce has my name on it. No, I'm sorry. Um, for the first pass, for the Plata, Bryce used the standard proof, and I
Mhm.
know that the Chisholm Trail CTC glasses and Thomas Ristoff, who I'm going to have back on our show, we're actually going to see him next week, this weekend coming up at Sabor y Cultura. He'll be there.
Oh,
I
good. Yeah.
hope to put him aside, take him aside, and do a quick interview with him. I saw him last year at last year's event, actually. So it's been a year since I've seen him in person. I've talked to him a few times, but this is now the official we're married now. This is official. He put a ring on it. This is the official glassware of sipping off the cuff, and we're so happy and proud because we his father, before he passed away, made us aware of glassware. I had no idea how important glassware was. I mean, we were using the Riedel at that point, and we weren't experimenting. And boy, when this came on the scene, it put the Riedel to shame. And things that changed in the tequila industry so much that I think Jim put it right one day. He says, I think that the tequila industry has outpaced the Riedel, outpaced its usage. And so, that's what required better glassware, and that's where Romeo, his father, Thomas's dad, came in. Again, I'll say beautiful legs and tears, very light in color. There's a kiss of wood on this thing.
Yeah.
Do we know
Yeah.
how long?
Let- I don't, let me see if they've got it here.
I would imagine, judging from the Blanco, if they're using the same Blanco in the same field, which I think they are, this is probably a distressed barrel, when it's been
Okay,
used several
so
times, kind of like the G4 idea, where
yeah.
he looks for
Yes.
them all beat up.
So 3 months and third and fourth fill extra bourbon casks. So, bourbon can only, they have to use virgin oak barrels. So that's why there's so many barrels available. So then it's been used, I'm guessing it's a batch. So some were used 3 and some were used 4 times for tequila. It's really their fourth and fifth use
Yeah, so
total.
they're they're old, they're used. I call them distressed,
Yeah.
uh, and
They're not fresh or wet barrels. Sometimes you'll hear that term when they get it straight from the whiskey distillery and they don't
yeah,
really.
or even from the wine distiller too. You get it
Yeah.
that way too if you're now that they're aging wine.
Yeah. And it's the
Beautiful
same.
eggs and tears though, man.
Yeah. So 30, like we talked about, 38 bricks. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
It's still pristine. I mean, it has that nice sheen to it and you naturally get that, with agave that's got this many bricks. Chances are it's got to be older than 5 years, maybe 6, 7 years. They don't talk about the age of the plant, but it takes that long to get some kind of a uh, uh, character, you know, and beautiful legs and tears. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous to look at.
Clean. Yeah.
And still, I'm getting that brightness on the nose that we
Mhm.
got on the Blanco. Still some alcohol there too. The alcohol is nicely present.
Yeah. And I'm using the high proof this time, and I didn't last time, and I'm getting a little more of kind of like a perfumey effect, like, some nice intensity of the aromas. So yeah,
There
the
is,
agave and citrus isn't as bright because I think
yes,
you all rounded it out, but some of those spices are kind of elevated.
that's it. Now there's a little bit more of the
Yeah.
baking spices, very light, but they're present now,
Yeah.
which that's we attribute that to the barrel.
Yeah.
But there's still kind of that minerality from the water too, that you can it's very prominent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
It's
like
steep
it is if it came
water.
from a Matitan or anything like that. It's not that kind of heavy minerality. It's more on the lighter end.
Yeah.
Now these plants are coming from Michoacan,
Mhm.
from their plot there, but this is still being distilled, and I think technically it's Arandas, isn't it? In their distillery.
No, no, no. They're in the valley. They're outside of a Matitan. What's it called?
Does it say?
Isn't El Arenal, I believe?
Oh, El
Yeah.
Arenal. Okay, yeah. So they're
El
part of that
Arenal. Yeah.
golden triangle. They're just that El Arenal has to me, and Arandas does a little bit too. They kind of have the best of both worlds, highlands and lowlands. So,
Hmm.
but in this case. Michoacan. Now these plants, we did some calculating offline. We found
Yeah.
out that these plants are being harvested at a mile high.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 meters. It's a little over a mile high. Um, so the plants themselves are stressed, not distressed. They're stressed.
Mhm.
So it's at higher altitude.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig in. Like it's a
Yeah, let's dig in. Let's do this.
yeah.
I got a hint. I can't believe I got this. I got a hint of a green apple. Just a hint. And
Okay.
I think what it is the barrel mixing with the minerality of the water, and it came across as, for me, like a green apple. I've had more of
Okay,
an
yeah.
intense green apple before, but that was in like
Yeah.
ancient Chinaco. When Herman Gonzalez was still distilling for Chinaco, I got that on the nose prominently. This one's more on the flavor profile, but it was just brief.
Yeah, I used to get it in the early G4 Blancos. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know what? This reminds me of too, Peralta. To me,
Yeah.
Peralta is highly underrated. I thought of the three brands that he had out, Pasote, G4, and Peralta. Peralta had a beautiful line, still does,
Mhm.
and I think it was highly underrated because I think it was the most versatile. We had like six different expressions, I think, is what they had,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
each
they're
one
bringing them back.
beautifully
Yeah.
done. To me, that was my favorite. I didn't care so much for Pasote. G4 was okay. It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna kick it out of bed for eating
Yeah.
chips or anything. I'm sorry. What
Yeah.
else are we getting? What else are we getting on this? What did you get on for your first pass? Because I got the green apple.
Yeah, I actually got some like orange. I think like some citrus. I think it's probably just a mix of um the agaves and the barrel spices. Orange, like a citrusy orange, like orange rind, but
Okay.
not too strong. Just a little bit, yeah.
Well, again, these barrels have been really distressed. They've been used for a lot, so we're not getting the heavy baking spices. I'm not getting. Uh, I'm not even getting some hot cinnamon. Honestly, I thought I would get more of that because some bourbon barrels will impart that on the flavor
Mm.
profile. It's not. I will say that the intensity, the explosion of the pepper is not as intense as it was in the Blanco, in the Plata.
Yeah. I do think I'm getting a little sweetness from the barrel.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's not that
yeah.
cinnamon normal, like it's more rounded out. It's a little more muted. Um, so it's not quite to like a caramel, which you would get from like a less used barrel, but just a little bit of those sugars out of the barrel. So I don't know what they're
Like
charred.
kind of a honeysuckle or something like that.
Yeah.
It's got a beautiful nose though. Really very pleasant. And it's got the wood notes are now obviously a little bit more prominent, but it's just adding an extra layer to that agave because that agave is the star of the show. Is again very agave forward, which is why it's so light in color. I mean, they didn't want to over oak this thing.
No, no, and I think this would be a great choice if you're trying to get into high proof spirits. Sometimes the Blancos can be a little too punchy, a little too hot, a little too
Yeah.
spicy. But this, I
Yeah.
mean, 46, that's 92 proof. I mean, that's a full high proof. But it's a little rounded. It's more approachable as a high
Hmm.
proof, you know. So not a
Hmm.
beginner sipper, but a beginner into the high proof. You might want to start with this repo before hitting the plata.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's really pretty. I've always said I think, repos are the hardest ones to get right because there's such a small window to work with, but
Yep.
yeah.
Repos are, I had again, one of the mentors of mine who told me years ago, he said, reposado you can mess up really easily if you're not careful. Um,
Mhm.
and some are just phoned in. You just take a once used bourbon barrel, stick it in there, pull it out after a couple of months, and then and phone it in. But
Yeah.
this is exquisite, man. What's our price point on this one? Is it going to be around the same like within the same range as the Blata?
I don't know. Let me look here and look at the so between 70 and 75. So Old Town's got it at 70 and Sip's got it at 75. But I mean, high proof repo, that's solid.
Yeah,
Cascahuin,
and
Agave,
for the body and the mouth feel and this is definitely a sipper. It's not one that I would even put in a cocktail. I mean, as Bryce says, if you're going to experiment with everybody's coming out with a high proof or still strength, and you want to know what the buzz is all about, go with the Repo first before you go with that pepper explosion of the Blanco or the Plata, the unaged,
Mhm.
because this one really tones it down a little bit and really
Yeah,
allows the agave forward to come through, mingled with the barrel spices a little bit. I still say
yeah,
the other one is good for the Blanco. The Plata is probably much better on a cold winter's day outside. This was good by the fire,
yeah,
indoors.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, if we're going to pair this with, atmosphere,
Yeah.
I don't even think I would pair this with a cigar. I really would hesitate to do that with this one. I don't offhand I can't think of one that I would because
Yeah, it's still a little
it's
it's
not over oaked. So it's hard to do with like a
no,
Rolls
no, it's more
Blanco.
like a 6 or 7 month, like maybe, but it's still pretty, like it's more kind of on that floral side that, yeah, I think a cigar would
Hmm.
just totally overpower it.
Hmm. Oh my God. If you can let it lay to the rear of your palate, and it's hard to do without letting there's all kinds of sweetness and the minerality.
Yeah.
It lingers too. I mean, it lingers because it's at 38 bricks. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an old school. Those are those are those piñas you see in those black and white pictures at El Tesoro, where they're laying on its side and it's as tall as a man,
Yeah, the big truck
that's a blue
bed
agave.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
They had
It
to
looks
cut
like
them
it looks
into
like a circus.
quarters.
It looks like those pumpkin pictures you get at every Halloween.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy, there's always a farmer who grows this big enormous pumpkin.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
God.
I let it sit on my palate longer and I got a little more kind of that savory, a little more earthiness, a little more vegetal.
And I think that's what we're going to have to go with because it still it was puzzling to you with the plata. You couldn't place it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a herbaceousness of some sort. I was hoping to get a little bit more of the fibrousness, but
Hmm.
it's not present like I get with a ricea or a mezcal that's used that fermented with fibers, or even Vivo for that matter. Vivo had that denseness and fibrousness that you get with fermenting with fibers. But this one is really bright. It was
Yeah.
citrusy all the way around. Like you said, I think the sweetness wasn't so much a caramel as much. I wouldn't even go butterscotch. To me, I would go like a honeysuckle because it wasn't. the barrel is so distressed that it's just kissing it. It's just giving it a little bit.
Yeah, like just like the very front edge, like just barely baking spice, like an intro to baking spices, if that's a
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
almost like an allspice or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Just
All right.
muted. Like it kind of has the little bit of that warming effect, a little bit of that spiciness, but not a full, not the full dose.
Yeah, not the full Monty, but that's okay because you know what? As far as I'm concerned,
Oh yeah,
Red the
100%.
Promise nominee. Again, a separate category. This thing is just beautiful. All you guys who are out there who are collecting the different huertas, the different fields, the vintages, keep going. Now, um, I think we spoke at the beginning of this review that there are two other um, renditions or iterations or of this previous to this
There's
particular vintage that I
three prior fields. This is the fourth.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next one coming up, we'll actually be able to get it. So I'm hoping to get that for our follow up to this line. And there's no telling how long they can go with this because I mean Ocho's been going on forever.
Yeah.
So I mean wherever you have a field that you haven't used for a while, just let it sit there. And when you decide when it's at a proper brix content, you harvest all of it and make the next vintage. Um, I think it's beautiful. I can't, and the price point for as labor intensive as it is, all day long. And this
Yeah.
doesn't. It's funny because I know that I've had it for a few months on my living room floor, but it hasn't. It's not one that you're going to attack, and it's one that you'll go back to, but it's not. It's very satisfying. It's like a
Yeah.
good raicilla, good mezcal. You one or two sips, one or two servings, and you're done. You're good. I think I really think that that's a testament to the way it's harvested, the way it's processed. It's not some of these tequilas are dangerously good that you just keep going back. You put a straw in it and just go, go to town. And
Yeah. I
others
think
are
you gotta,
just
yeah, you want to
others are not
savor.
like that. Yeah, this
Yeah, you
one's
want
not
to
like the
savor
others.
stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, folks, that's our take on Las Lagrimas. This is the Las Lagrimas del Valle, and it is the La Loma vintage and field. What are you doing with it? If you're getting it, if you've had it, are you putting it in a cocktail? What kind of cocktail would you use? If you, yeah, I mean, it's your money.
Yeah.
However you want to, are you mixing it with something? Are you just using it as a paloma? What are you doing with it? I mean, leave us
When if you
leave us
had
the
the
recipe.
prior, yeah, if you had the
Yeah.
prior fields, where does this
Yeah, how
rank?
does this compare with the prior fields? Because again, different state.
Yeah.
I don't even know where the prior fields are located. I would imagine it's located somewhere in the highlands, uh,
Yeah.
or in the valley, but this was in Michoacan, so it's completely different. The whole flavor profile, the whole terroir is going to be different. I think that was the idea. What they were going for is they wanted to like Ocho again. You want to distinguish one field from the other, from the other, from the other, and that's the fact that they have a field in another state. That means a lot. So what are you doing with it? Tell us leave us a recipe down in the comments below. Leave us a drinks emoji, give us a like, hit the notification bell, share it with everybody. Hey, put us out there in the YouTube algorithm. All right. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is.
Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
You've been watching and listening to another edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.